mouthpiece of the Northeast, Jimmy J here, alongside today two very special guests. He is the creator, the writer of not only The Dark Military, we're talking Pennsylvania, hardcore, we're talking, I mean, this guy does it all, okay? My good friend here, Loren Lepre, alongside with Mr. Bryan Enright, another great who I met on set of Dark Military Rogue, which we will be talking about today, folks. But before I get into it, I have to ask one question. Is my general ready?
Yeah.
All right, there it is.
Not this
The
again.
general is ready. I dig it. The general tuned you in.
The general, we're in. As long as you gave me that green light, we're good to go.
Yep.
And here we are, man. We have been trying to put this together, Loren. I know for it seems like weeks now, but we're finally making it come to fruition here. I'm happy to have you on. First of all, how's everybody doing? Especially since the good news is out. The strike's over.
Strike's over, and I just got back from the Bronx Zoo, so it's been an interesting day.
Oh my goodness! And you made it. Well, you made it to the show. That's a huge plus. Made it out of the Bronx alive.
I was talking to you at the rest stop at exit 11 on the Turnpike. That's where we were talking originally. So it's like it's funny. I was like, yeah, I think we'll be good by 7:30.
Well, yeah. Thank God you made it out of the Bronx. That's number one.
Oh my God, that took forever. Oh my gosh, yeah, I was like crazy, but
yeah, you brought your vest with you as well, right?
I did the war vest. Yeah.
You always got to have it handy in the Bronx. Bryan, what's up, buddy? How are you? Thank you for joining us today. I know it was a little last minute, but I appreciate you taking the time.
No, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to talk to both you and Loren tonight. It's going to be an awesome time. Can't wait to talk about dismemberment, Dark Military, bloodshed, all that fun stuff. And of course, I want to hear about the future of the Dark Military. I'm sure we'll get to that soon.
I know someone you can talk to about that. Sure, yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got to let me know. We're going to get to that because there's a lot to talk about here. Before we get into the juice, okay, I want to ask you, Loren, talk to me about this idea, the Dark Military idea, how this all came to fruition, and you started writing this and putting this together.
Are we talking about Rogue or like the whole idea?
We're talking about actually the whole idea from the beginning.
The whole idea was I was watching so Dark Military was not released to 2019. That's my fault. But we recorded it in 2015. What was happening was I was watching people, how they were shooting stuff in 2013 and 2014. I had this thing in my head, like, never make a movie if you can't get $1 million. Well, guess what, folks? That's kind of hard to come by. So I started like basically taking notes from other people's sets. Like I would see a trailer and I'd be like, oh my God, that's horrible. And then the next one I'd be like, that's well lit, shot. And I'm like, I know everyone there. There's no way. Like, I wish they would, but they were getting paid substantial amount of money. So I'm starting to like kind of ease, like, yo, could you ask what it cost for that to get shot? We'll go, locations versus. And I'm like, wow, you don't need $1 million. So I was like, all right. So especially at that time, I was running my film festivals, Freedom Shorts and Liberty Massacre out of Philadelphia. I did that 26 times. I will not say it's officially over, but it's definitely on a hiatus. I haven't had a show since October of 2019, and then what happened in 2020. So it was a great time where I met a lot of film directors, but got a lot of connections, and it really got my name out there. It was also holding me back from constantly making films. And I kept saying, man, I got enough resources. So I said, I'm going to write a movie around the current resources that I had. And that's what I did. And I kept saying, I'm like, we had the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 74. We had the Devil's Rejects. You had a couple groups in between, but I'm like, we haven't had a group in a while. And I just saw some shadow figures. And I saw some girls in there particularly, and I'm like, it just started piecing it together. And I didn't have the name The Dark Military for a very long time. So when I was writing the script, I would write, then the what I call it, what was I calling it? The untitled group would walk in. We're walking through the forest. I was writing shit like that because I didn't have the name. I'm like, when I get the name, that's when I could actually start whatever the name of the team is going to be the name of the movie. Hey guys, it took me like 6 months to come up with the name. I was calling it the working title. Yeah. So the group working title. How's this? So, but I knew like I had an idea for the names, all biblical names. I had an idea of like I wanted biblical names, but I wanted no slander at God or Jesus in any way. I want to try a different point of view. I wanted my girls to have some sort of muscle structure that are in shape. That, I love Pamela Springsteen and all that, but in Sleepaway Camp, but I don't fear 100 a girl that weighs 105 pounds. I'm sorry, I love it, but like, I wanted to put girls out there that you look like you've got to fight these girls to death. These girls look like they can go. And then I wanted some comic relief. That's where the character of the cook came in. Because when you say, anyone who's listening to this, what's a scary movie? Well, the line forms to the left. Because what you think might be scary might be funny to the next guy. So I said, make sure you got some humor in there. And Barabbas's his dialogue is serious, but he mixes words up that makes you laugh in the dialogue. And, so I tried to make sure everyone's dialogue for each character was different. It wasn't the same vocabulary. And I wanted the good guys, the faces of the movie, the good guys, to shine too. I wanted people to care about them. So every time I was writing their characters, I'm like, you're them now. How could you try to make them shine the best you could? So I said I wanted to make this my franchise, like at least my trilogy. So between my film festivals, my music video that I did for Dark Military, stopping and doing trailers, guys, before you know it, like people were like, "Are you ever going to release this movie?" And I kind of knew right there, I'm at fault here. I'm the too many cooks in the kitchen, but even though I'm just one, but I can't handle all this workload. So I thought even up to the release of the movie, a little bit of the hype died. But by the time you release the movie, it gets reviewed like 40 times. I had literally so many outlets because I marketed it so well, trying to get me to sign up front. And they're like, "Oh, we're the perfect outlet for you." And I'm like, "You didn't see the movie. You don't know what kind of movie you're getting." Like it's there's like a lot of red flags with distribution. So when the movie came out, I was pleased. I was happy. I love the feedback. Of course, like every other filmmaker out there, there's some things I wish I could do over and get back, but that's just,
everybody.
George Lucas has that. I mean, he made the Ewoks like blink, like no matter who you are, you want to make some changes. So I tried to see where else it led to. It led to some things. I will honestly say that a lot of people stopped calling me to do films. So I think they saw me more as a director now. I was hoping everyone was going to call me let's get Loren in there. And like, no, that didn't happen much. So I was like, all right, I want to ring this bell again. The Dark Military bills, and I did have some help, but the bills followed me for 4 years. And that's where I came up to, do I make the Dark Military Part 2, or do I make a short film to kind of get the hype going up that could kind of bridge to the second film? So the beginning of last year, I was like, do the short film.
Yeah. And
then I started budgeting, and I'm like, this is stupid. Go for the feature, because it was already way over. But I started getting really cranking numbers, because I wanted every Dark Military member to return. I wanted some new members. Originally, as we get into Rogue here, there's characters of Carter, Skylar, and Henry, but there was supposed to be more. And before I knew it, I'm like, dude, you got 30 people in this movie. It's getting crowded. I'm like, you guys, So I was like, I
interject real quick. The first one now, right? You said you had that bill you were taking care of for about 4 years.
4 years.
So a roundabout estimate to create that film. Now you said it didn't cost obviously $1 million to make a movie.
No, it did not.
Give me an estimate of how much you had to come up with, and did you raise the capital yourself, or did you?
So I had one generous producer, Mary, threw some money in, and then my other producer, the Fox Hills, particularly Natalie Fox Hill, she threw no money in, but hit pause, folks. Don't be like, what are you talking about then? She gave up her land. She put up all the cast to stay there for a whole week, basically. Hi, there's 30 people living at my house. So yeah, and she's also doing the cooking. So of course I threw all the money in for the food and any etc. But reality, she didn't spend a dime, but she gave so much time. She gets equal, help on that. She saved me a bundle, because if not, I would have had to have put hotels up for everybody because we shot the week the Pope came.
Oh my goodness.
So I made sure everybody got to this campsite and they stayed there. I
Amen.
was like, please don't leave because I don't know if you're going to get swallowed and not come back. And you know what? That week, particularly, one of my top 5 weeks I've ever had in my life, like being proud, walking in. I mean, look, when you make a movie and you have that many people in it, up to like 100 people on set between like particularly the first day, and then it kind of dials back as people start dying and getting cut. But it's beautiful. You're not going to keep everybody happy once you go to post-production. Things happen, jealousy, this or that. Hey, where's my name in the credits for compared to this person's name? Because I feel that I'm the bigger star. I went through a lot of stuff like that. But I have to honestly say, no matter where I stand with some of these people now, thank you. You helped bring my movie to life. Like, I can never discredit anybody with that, you know?
And I feel like that comes with anything, any movie that you're going to get egos, you're going to get sense of entitlement and stuff like that. It's just something you got to deal with. But it sounds like even talking behind the scenes, you handled it well, and
it was great, brother. And then that's what leads you to Rogue, to where my vision for part 2 to go. And
Rogue had a cast, dude. I mean, look, this guy right here, Bryan, incredible. we're going to get to you in a minute, man, because like I was sitting there just as the scenes were taking place, and I'm just sitting there tied up, and I'm like, wow, these guys are good, man. I'm in it. I'm immersed in the film.
Well, particularly, I know you said you want to get to Bryan second. Bryan, I owe a super kudos for, because he came to the plate 1 week before. He replaced the lead actor I already had, who I'm still completely cool with. I plan on bringing this actor in for the sequel, but he had a family death that he had to be there. He had family stuff he had to take care of, and he felt so bad, but he didn't actually officially leave. I kind of said, dude, at this point, I don't know if you don't know you can make it. I got to do this now. And Bryan stepped right up to the plate, and he was actually the guy I was most nervous of. Only, not that I didn't think he could do it, but just he's only got a week. And as soon as we started doing the dry run, I'm like, okay, relief. I was just like, don't worry about it. Just shoot this now. I was like, damn. So yeah, we had one rehearsal in my backyard. He came over.
Dude, and it comes natural. I could tell, Bryan. It definitely comes natural to you, man. You got a gift. I think there was only one person on that set that he was giving you a hard time, man. He didn't show up. It's this idiot Henry over here, man. I don't know, man.
Yeah, Bill. You know what, dude? You stayed in touch with me. Wish we could have got that additional scene, but I remember actually pulling Bryan over. He's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "The opening scene," and Bryan actually helped suggest what to do, and I was like, "We're doing that." I was like, "All right, we're doing that." So I always say, there's a lot of directors out there that want full credit for everything. I did all this. You can't, don't suggest cinematographer. You be quiet. I know what I'm doing, and deliver it. I didn't do that. It was like an open forum. If we saw something that we thought can improve the film, I'm completely open with that. So there were moments on the film, either the delivery or the action, the cinematographer would be like, that don't work. As soon as it goes through, he's like, that doesn't work. And I'm like, and everyone unanimously, no, it doesn't. So we just make adjustments. But that's any film.
Yeah. Yeah. And Loren, I got to tell you, very professional on a set, man. And you organize everything very well. So even from what I've seen,
and one of the things that is infamous on my film set, between the first one that cost me $2,300 alone in just this particular apartment, and in this particular film, and both of you know, particularly Bryan knows more, I feed people well.
I didn't want to leave the kitchen.
Oh gosh, yeah, I spent $2,300 in that first film on food alone. But I mean, you're talking up to I would say it was a constant 70, 50 to 70 as that week went through. I mean, that's a lot of mouths to feed. And, you don't want to buy pizza. That's just not good. It's just not. People that are just the Domino's diet, number one, is your cast, do they have any health issues? Could they eat dairy? You just can't just think hey, the pizza diet. So I look at happy stomachs, happy cast. And, Amanda, the house we stayed at in Orlando, she gave me a price. She goes, I will cook for everybody. And I just kept looking around. I'm like, where did that come from? Like, where did I'm like, Amanda, you went way out. So Amanda, if this makes it your way, thank you again. Like everyone was praising your food. So
Yeah, they were excellent. They were excellent hosts.
Yeah.
we even had steak and like ice cream cake. We
Wait,
got that.
hold on. I guess this is what I missed out on.
Yeah.
Ice cream
Yeah,
cake.
well, show up when you're supposed to show up, Jimmy, and you
Oh
can.
my God, man. I know I'm horrible, man. I'm sorry for that still. I know there was some things, but I appreciate you understanding. I had to make it. I was the biggest
You
concern.
did, dude. You did exactly the part right where your character. What happens to your character, dude? You did exactly the exact shot, the exact reaction. I mean, the people that I don't name drop because that sounds pretty like muscly and stuff. But I said there's some people on the West Coast, the right people have seen this movie, and they were crazy, Jim. There's like, where'd that guy come from? Who's that? And I'm
No,
like,
no, no,
I was like, that's a first time actor, and they're like, you serious?
no. I never had it. Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciate you
Yep.
giving me the opportunity, and you guys, you and Brian and the young ladies. I'm sorry, I keep forgetting.
Thea and
The young ladies, they did an incredible
Rosario.
job, man. Like, so it was just
Lewis, he was good to you and all that. Yeah,
yeah,
well, he
Louis,
was
yeah,
attached to you. Big Lou was attached to you the whole
yeah.
film. So
I know, man, and man, his grip,
yeah.
whole thing. I didn't have to sell nothing. That was real. That was legit. Like, oh shit, this guy. So yeah, man. No, but everybody there, man. Even Gabe, I know I seen this little video out there that
Oh gosh, yeah.
talking about. I guess he just likes getting head from me. I guess, but whatever out there. But we'll keep that for those that know. Not like
Yeah.
come out the gutter. But you know, like everybody on set was real friendly and professional, and you guys did just. I got to give you guys so much props, Brian, and the whole team, and all the actors and actresses. You guys killed it, man. I was very impressed, and it superseded as crazy as you think about something like this, Loren. I don't know what to expect, so I set the bar low. But you guys like really superseded my expectations of this film and what you put together. So big shout out to you and the team.
No, Jim, thank you, and like I thank the cast, Brian, like everybody that was involved. Could we have used an extra hand or two on the set, particularly me, like an AD? Yeah. I always say I want something from every film, and this one was I should have had an AD, and anyone's like that's a filmmaker's like, why on earth would you not have an AD? It's like that there was one location, and I'm like, it's not going to be hard to like just grab people and stuff. It's like you turn around and we'd be like setting up a shot and be like, where my actors go? I mean, like, go get my actors. Go get this, go get that. So, but there was a lot of times I handled it no problem. But I would say 50% of the time I was just like, I should have just paid someone and like be my freaking AD. So,
Dude,
Brian, that's looking good for you going forward.
Good, good.
Let's get Brian to make sure we have Brian. Listen, talk to me about your acting history. Was this like, have you had other experience before this, or was this like?
So I started theater very young. I did community theater ever since I was like 4, and I just done theater. I've always wanted to do film, never had any opportunities. It's like night and day difference. When you do in theater, everything is loud, everything is expressive. Film, you kind of just take all that and you bring it down, like down, down, down. So I went to an acting school in New York City in 2009, and then I got kicked out because I couldn't afford it anymore. So then I went back home, did more community theater. During that time, met my wife. We ended up getting married. We had a kid, and I stopped acting. I didn't want to do. I just couldn't do it anymore. I got like a real world job, and then I met up with a group of guys that were like, "Hey, we're going to start reviewing horror movies." And I was said, I'm interested in doing that. I like watching horror movies. They're my jam. So they got me involved, and I was looking for like indie filmmakers because when you're writing, especially in the horror genre, the best way to collaborate is to find indie filmmakers. So I saw Lauren's post on Facebook one day saying, "Hey, I got this movie, The Dark Military. I'm looking for people to review it." I messaged him. He messaged me back right away. We became instant friends. He said, check out this movie. Let me know what you think, and if you could do, and let me know the review. So I gave a review on it, and then Lauren was like, "Thank you for the review." And I said, "Hey, I want to have you on the show. You and the team that helped make The Dark Military." So we brought him on, and we brought the other editor, Steve Carino, on, and we interviewed them, and then we just started moving back and forth with collaborating with each other. And then Lauren started inviting me to the Average Superstar film festivals over at the Trocadero. And then I met up with him over at NJ HorrorCon, which was in Atlantic City. Or no, originally it was in PA, and then they went to Atlantic City. But Dark Military would play there, and I would
You
show
let
up.
me vend there. Yes. You let me point out the movie. Yes. Thank you for that.
And yeah. So I promoted a movie, and then one day Lauren brought me aside. He said, listen, I it bothers me that you have promoted this movie more than some of the people that worked on it. And I said, well, let me know if you need any help with anything in the future. I'm trying to get back into acting. And Laura's like, okay. So a couple years happened, and I landed a role in a movie, and I thought it was going to be like my big break. It was my first time being in a feature film. I was so excited for it.
I was at the
Movie came.
premiere of that for you. Remember, I was
You
back.
were
We
at
were
the you were
backing
at
you
the
up.
premiere,
Yep.
yeah.
What
Yep.
film?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's called Hideout, and I was like so excited. It was like one of those moments where I was like, okay, wow, I did an amazing job. Can't wait to hear what the world's got to say. And it ended up being like an experience that Lauren was like, listen, this is what's going to happen. And I said, okay, we'll see. We'll see what happens. And it happened, and it went to the point where I was like, shit, people like all over the internet are trashing me. They're
Mhm.
like, he is the worst actor. And I had people message me and give death threats.
No, because
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit, they're threatening to kill me and stuff like that, for being in this movie and being a terrible actor. So I went through a lull, but like I still wanted to do film. So I worked my way up the world with like doing union projects, and then I was able to get into SAG after. And being on set more helped me get adjusted to being in front of the camera, delivering lines, all that fun stuff. So let's fast forward to I was working on a show on for Apple TV called Catamount or Sinking Spring, which we're probably going to go back to shooting after this. This strike just announced that it's ending, and we had the writer's strike and then the actor's strike, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I'm out of work. This sucks." So I was like, "You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna start bulking. I'm gonna just fucking eat all the fucking protein and fat I can find and just start lifting weights like every day. And I'm gonna shave my head because why the fuck not?" About a month and a half into bulking, Lauren hits me up. He's like, "Hey, would you mind coming over? I want to know if you'd be interested in being in a movie." I'm like, "Sure, I'll get my fat bald ass over and talk about what's going on." And Lauren was like, "Listen, I'm making a short movie, and it's going to be the continuation of Dark Military." I'm like, "Holy shit, I'm in!" And we discussed it, and we went over the lines, and he's like, "Listen, I'm shooting next week." I'm like, "Cool, let's do it." Because like,
Yeah.
as an actor, you want to get as much footage and video reel as you can, because that's your job.
resume.
It's your resume. Yeah, your demo reel is your resume. No one will ever say that, but it is your resume. Or maybe they will say it. So and Lauren was just like, we're gonna do this. I'll compensate you. I said no. I'm like, don't compensate me. I'm just like, you've helped me out a lot of times. I'm helping you out. Just let me know when we're going, what the address is. So I drove up to the Poconos where we shot the movie, and yeah, everyone was hospitable. It was great working with Lauren because we go back more than what 5-6 years now. We've been
Gotta
friends.
be. It's gotta be at least gotta be 2017, 18. And you were
Yeah,
also the first person that I put the Blu-ray when it came out into your hands. You're the first one to
yeah.
ever own the Dark Military.
I was the first guy. Yeah, I was so
Got the
excited for
first
that, and I got
copy?
the,
Oh,
Yes.
got the
look at
first
it.
copy. Well,
Yeah,
also
as the orders came in, I turned up. Well, Brian lives minutes from me. Like it turned out, and I was like, it turned out I was actually going to get pizza by him at Pat's, and I'm just like, why am I going to the mail this to him? I was just like, I gotta drop it in his mailbox, and I was like, yo, check your mailbox when you get home.
yeah. We felt like here, he needed help promoting the Dark Military, and I found out that we lived like 5 minutes from each other,
Yeah,
so we became good friends instantly. I've been over many times. We've watched movies in your backyard, had parties, so it's always a good time when we get together. And so we shot this movie. And what was going through my head was like, we're in a relaxed environment. You obviously got the part, Brian. And it was like, remember all the stuff that people didn't like what you did in the movie that you did earlier on Hideout, and I was just like, you know what? Okay, let's try this again. Let's work on different ways of saying things. And I think when it came to my acting in Dark Military Rogue, it was more controlled. It wasn't like crazy, like spontaneous. It was like my performance in Hideout was very theatrical, like you're seeing on on a live stage, and that was not the point. I had to bring it down to
Yeah, to
like
take it down
down
a
to
notch.
earth.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I'm blessed that I had this opportunity to to be in the Dark Military Rogue and get killed. I've died on
I'm not
screen.
gonna get killed.
Yeah, I've died on screen a few times. I had my limbs and neck broken. I got fucking disemboweled.
I like that
Um,
evisceration. Yeah, on set. Yeah. Oh, I think I know what you called it, but that was amazing, man.
yeah,
What they use? I guess it was sausage links.
yeah, yeah, right. It was something, and then you got burned alive.
I don't know
Although we
how I'm
didn't throw
here,
you
man.
into the fire.
Those burns,
What was
yeah.
the, what was the song that night? Docking into the fire.
Into the
That was the
fire.
theme.
Yeah, man. It
Yeah,
was. Um, yeah, my first death on screen, which I was thrilled about, and
yeah. Pop that cherry, man.
yeah, man. But I tell you though, I was watching you when you were talking with Lauren, the exchange back and forth, dude. It was effortless, and knowing now that seriously, and knowing now that you only had a week, like you had a week to memorize those lines, like that's incredible.
That's
Like I don't know
that's
how
the
I don't
thing.
know. I can't even remember what I ate last night. I can't remember certain things. Like I know I juggle a lot, but still at the same
Yeah,
time, dude, that's incredible. Just the fact
you got to get you got to get a good scene partner. Whenever I get roles, I record the scenes, and my wife reads the other part. And then what I do is I used to write it down, my lines, like 10 times each line, and that would help me memorize. But now because of technology, I have my iPhone and will record the dialogue, and then you just hook it up to your Bluetooth in your car, and you just play it over and over again. And you just try different ways, say the lines different ways while you're listening to it over and over again. And it was a good drive for me too. It was about a 2 hour drive, so I was able to keep hammering those lines in. Also, working with Lauren, he was just like, just we'll just riff off each other because he's like, of course the lines are here, but I'm not married to them. If you want to ad lib or anything like that, and when you have a director that says that, it's a little more relaxing. I mean, we're not doing fucking Shakespeare. We're
yeah.
not like reciting every word and every syllable. But we want to get the gist down, and we want to at least let the audience know that we're going through this situation. I mean, that's acting 101. If you believe that you're there, then so will the audience.
You got it mentally. You have to like put yourself in the scene. And
Mhm.
like this is real, like and
Yeah.
it showed like again your facial expression, even I I'm bad with names. Is it Elsa? Is it Rosario?
Rosario, yeah, yeah.
She really good, man, like and
Yeah.
believable. Everybody on set, and I was really surprised, man, just the believability. Because I've been not in, but like on different sets. I even done. I was an EMT for a while. I've done standbys on legit TV shows, like on TV,
Yeah.
like, and it didn't. And this is me just saying this honestly. What you guys did was more believable than some of the stuff I've seen, which is incredible to be a part of it. So I was just thrilled about that. But um,
Well, Lauren's been Barabbas since 2015. So I mean, if he didn't have his lines and his
Yeah,
character
it was.
hammered down,
Yeah, I mean,
he
listen,
blasted me.
Barabbas. Thank you. Barabbas definitely comes natural to me. I knew the cast I brought in was going to hit it out of the ballpark and stuff, and everyone showed up. And as again, I heard everything. Sorry when I step away, but Brian, I mean, he was saying about he felt he overacted and stuff and all that. Like there was a massive improvement with that. Yeah, like that's just I could go back to the first few films I was in, and you're just like, oh, but that comes with it. I mean, no one comes and just starts hitting home runs in Major League Baseball. So Brian realized I think he's better when he's more toned down, and I actually feel still if I
Mm.
use it to go too loud, I think it turns into more humor. That's why when I play Barabbas, it's a little bit of a raised voice for
Mhm.
authority, but I don't really try to go much higher than that.
Yeah. No, the acting was good. No one's messaged me to kill myself yet, so we're good
That's
on that.
crazy. How bad? I mean, that. But no matter how
There's
bad
there's
that-
people. I also say like this isn't just a Brian or maybe anyone's attached to Hideout or any other movie, but like you need to know music, film. If you're putting yourself out there, the punches are coming, man, and
Mhm.
you got to be prepared. I mean, I've had some people who've criticized my first film where it's the stuff that I know happened, and I'd be like, point taken, dude. Like I'm gonna sit there and defend. Like you spotted the things that I don't like either. Thank you for bringing it up, but also f you for like coming at me with that. You know, but there's also like some people. It's like they you did say, but this a lot of audience in film are stupid a lot of times. I mean, there's
Yeah.
people that think like Halloween Kills and Ends were like great movies, like where they'd be like, you didn't explain this, and I'd be like, the hell I didn't. Go to this scene and this scene. We're like, well, what about this? I'm like, that was never explained. Like, yes, it was. What were you watching? I was like, you know, I always wonder sometimes. We've all been guilty of this, where it's
Yeah.
like, let's sit down and watch a movie together, and you start talking to your friend, and within like 30 minutes, you're like, look back at the TV, like, this movie's stupid. Well, it may not be stupid. We might be the ones that are stupid because we're talking to each other, so we don't know what's going on, and you know, which equals we think this movie's stupid, but we're not giving it the time of day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the other thing too. Also, like that's one point. And the other point is entertainment is subjective. And I said
Mhm.
that what you like, I may not like, and vice versa.
Yep.
So I don't think and there's a fine line between constructive criticism and then just straight like bashing. And
Yeah.
and there's no reason for that. You know, there's no reason for all the hate. It's like, all right, wow, I appreciate how passionate you are about my
Yeah.
acting, you know, and stuff. But like the death threats, Brian, I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's this wrong. And if you're in the business
You a
long
horrible, I'm gonna kill you. Like,
if you're in the business long enough, at least I am, I know if I send my film to this particular group,
Mm.
it's going to get chewed up because I know the style of movies that they like. And it's
Yeah.
not why my movie doesn't fit. Don't send it over there. But I also kind of know, like, hey, say, well, the fight's fixed if I send it to these 10 over here. And it's not that they're my friends, but like, this is this type of style that they like. So
Yeah.
I've been in film festivals where like my film would be up for something, but yet they kind of gave it to the trauma. And I'm not knocking trauma, but they're giving the trauma style movie the best feature. And you're just like, that was shot on like a camera phone. There's no audio,
Trauma
but
hasn't made a good movie since the 80s,
but
okay? I'll say that.
Toxic Avenger.
but if you know the people that are the judges, and that's where they
Yeah.
come from, that's the type of film they're going to accept. You know,
It's
so you can't
they like their
also,
cheeseburgers.
yeah, if you know what you're getting into, don't and the ball doesn't bounce your way, like don't be shocked. You know, like
Yeah.
know where you're going.
So,
So
so Lauren, for those that don't know this though, talk to us about the backstory, like summing up the dark military, um, sum up the storyline, and then talk about what they can expect, what the fans can expect watching Rogue.
So when it comes to the dark military, really what it comes down to, if anyone who saw the first movie, by the way, anyone who's not seen the first movie can watch it for free on Tubi, Sumo, and Movieplex. You can go there right
Hey.
now. There's another 12 outlets out there. I'm not putting them down, but like they don't stick in my head because they're brand new. But basically, I wanted to bring new. The first idea of the first movie was to me to introduce new horror movie characters to the horror movie community. That was it. It was like boom, and I want that good production value. We shot on 2 red cams, so that you know that part got through. But I wanted a story. I wanted like literally no downtime, no boring. I want like one chain reaction after another, and I wanted the idea is there is someone going by the name of the General who is yet to be revealed is paying a bunch of mercenaries from the dark web, male and female. We don't know who they are, where they came from, or their backstory. We just know they're working for the General. The General has an idea for every Halloween that he's going to put the fear back into it. And beginning of the first movie, my character Barabbas, we do an actual terrorist tape where someone dies, and to prove it, his body will turn up in 24 hours, and it does. And a week later, we're coming, and just be ready. And the general has a plan, kind of takes over everyone's computer and cell phone and everything, and kind of, unofficially makes everybody watch this live hunting game. And I'm not telling anybody, hey, I changed the world with this. I did not. There's plenty of hunting games. I've even said, like, I took a page out of Battle Royale in this. I've totally put that as one of my ingredients, but it's a different spin.
Original concept.
Huh?
It's to me, it's an original concept for horror.
Well, thank you for that.
In my opinion, I don't know, maybe I missed something, but it was fresh. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I could even kind of say, like, the endings, were like almost, I forgot to add, like, the strangers of, like, these people put masks on and show up and terrorize a house, and you don't know why they're doing it,
Yeah.
what it is, and at the end, they take their mask off and walk among you for the next year. To me, that's like the scare of to truly. I'm hope the fans got, like, that these, you don't know who they are. They got away with this, and they're walking among you. Who are these people? Is it someone who's living next door to me? Is like, there was one of them run a daycare center. Like, you just don't know. So that's the terror. And why is this general doing this? And so that leads into Rogue, which does not take place on Halloween. It's kind of considered an unfinished business of something, you don't take the general's money and run. For anyone who's seen the first movie, that's where we go in the Rogue. Now, the second movie, I can't have some tricked kids like in the first movie fall for this on Halloween. Like, I have to kind of go from, the House of a Thousand Corpses to the Devil's Rejects of, like, we're taking the movie and going over here, because you can't make that first film happen again, legitimately. And
is 2 going to happen?
2 is going to happen one way or another. Now, here's what I'd say: one way or another. Whether a big studio or somebody across the ocean, for anyone wonders why I said that, I live in Philadelphia, so when I say across the ocean, means like Hollywood, is looking to take this on, possibly. That's great. So, but obviously, if that happens, I'm going to have some more people to answer to as far as direction. But I will pull Sylvester Stallone and be like, and Rocky, of like, you got to take me too. And I really, really, really would like to have creative control over the story, because I've said this on a few other shows now. Like John Carpenter when he had Michael Myers for part 1 and part 2, like Sean S. Cunningham, who had his franchise for 4 movies, the second it comes property and goes in the hands of just regular screenwriters who don't know the property, that's when everything goes off the rails. And that is what I'm really trying to protect for the Dark Military going forward. And then we could all sit here and be like, yo, dude, you're highly protecting a film that didn't really explode. Yeah, you're right. But
it's yours. It's yours.
For what I would like to see and where I do believe these characters could go, I got to think that way.
Yeah,
I have to think that way.
I don't blame you.
I got to protect the characters. I just can't have, like, trendy stuff going on that we see in Hollywood, especially the last few years. Like, I that's not going to work for this story.
Who's the general? Can you unveil him?
Oh yeah, I'm going to unveil it on the Horror 65 podcast.
I mean, I had to try. I had to try.
Okay.
Right? I mean, he gave me the green. I don't know where it came from, but you're on here. So
well, you know what? It's one of them things. Like, is the general an American, someone from another country, male, female, black, white? I don't know. There's a million different directions I could go with that. Maybe the scary part is if you actually kill all the Dark Military members, including Barabbas, but you don't get the general, he could just hire more mercenaries and continue on next year. So that's like another scary, like, thought. But going into pushing the Dark Military, though, you need to, filmmakers, I'm not trying to, like, sit here and preach, but I am. I mean, you got to go on every podcast, get every article. No podcast or article is too big or too small. You just cannot make a trailer and stick it on YouTube and make a movie poster and expect everybody's going to come flocking. You have to go. You have to go to conventions. That's where your audience is. If you're making a horror movie, I mean, you have to. Like by the
Real
time,
quick, I'll be right back.
all right, by the time.
Don't say that. They say that in horror movies. They don't come back.
Yep. But by the time this airs, my Monster Mania Oaks PA show will already be over. But I'm going there this weekend, and I got my Dark Military cards, where hey, there's where you get to watch the first movie for free, and then on the back, you scan the barcode, you can go watch Rogue, just right there with your phone, right there, just like that. But you got to come up with ways to do marketing, folks.
You see what you're doing here, Loren? You're putting in I'm sorry to cut you off. You're putting in the work.
Yes.
That's what a lot of people I've noticed, and I know quite a few that have content and stuff that they're trying to put, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a show, it's an event, but they're not promoting every way possible. Like they're using just social media, and social media is great, but it's not enough. You got to have those personal interactions. And I keep saying that when you go out, when you're at conventions and when you're at events or even outside of the house, you're engaging, you're talking to people, people are getting that experience. And I'll tell you what, it works better than any social media promotion, because they'll be like, you know what? That guy, Loren, he's a good dude. You know what? I'm going to support that guy. Let me check this out. Let me see what he got going on. That's it.
Thank you. And I'm attracted to hungry dogs, like Bryan, when he gets back, like the dude's a nice dude. He's very supportive. Not just me, but everything he's around. He carries the torch. Like, this is the type of person you want to be aligned with. There's a lot of I go back to my first film where, again, I praise everybody who showed up, did their job, but like, they didn't market for nothing. They didn't. Like, some of them didn't market for nothing. So it's like, thank you, but at the same time, like, I don't think you're a hungry dog. I'm not bringing you back for any projects whatsoever. There's only so much time you have in this life. For if you're a 25-year-old film director, or if you're a 40-year-old film director, well, let's just round it off and say you're half dead. You still got a lot of time left, but you don't got a lot of time for. There's only so many films you have.
Yeah.
That no matter how much funding you get, so you better align yourself with the right people. You better not be afraid. This is a huge thing. What I'm trying to tell everybody here, folks. You got to be not afraid to cut people, even if they can be some of the closest people to you, if they're not going at the pace that you are.
As strong as your weakest link.
You are, like, you can't be like, hey, you're traveling and doing all the footwork, and then that person puts a phone call in and says, well, how'd that go? But like, what'd you do? Well, I stayed home. Like, I'm not doing that.
I know. I firsthand.
It doesn't work that way. So that doesn't mean hate the people that helped you. I'm not telling anybody that. I'm not saying slander in any way, but just like, if you have to cut ties with some people, cut them.
Business.
There is such thing as business. Like, you can't be getting close to something amazing happen and somebody, like, you painted the house almost all yourself, and then at the last minute someone comes and helps you outside for like an hour, and then it's like, we did it together. Like, no, you really didn't. You really didn't, man. So
take the credit and stuff. Yeah, a lot of people like that, man. They don't want to put in the work, but they want the notoriety, they want the credit for it, and it's everywhere, man. It's everything, I feel like,
and Bryan talks about getting death threats. No one's ever, well, not yet, maybe right after this broadcast ends, no one's ever said like, you should die, Loren. But I've had people rudely, I wish they did say that, but rudely email me out of the blue and say, hey, Loren, is it all right if I have access to all your locations and your producers from your first Dark Military film? I'm trying to make my own. Thanks. That's the opening email. I'm like, so I should just hand my network over to you, huh? Like, yeah. It's like, you want my social security? You want to move into my house? Like, take the keys. Like, no. So
got plenty of food. Come on.
There's a lot of people in this business. Like I always said, there's really no friends in films, only allies. Of course, there's people you like still, but never. I always kind of have that, like, don't ever be stunned when that happens. Just never be stunned when something like that comes out of the blue, because they will keep coming. And if you don't cast someone, they're now not your friend either. You know, so yeah, there's people that can't handle that. Look, I don't like getting rejected when I want to be in a movie. I don't like it at all. But I don't sit there
I'm
and like,
pissed at you now that you brought it up. Why'd you burn me? Damn it!
yeah,
That's
yeah. Because I mean, look, but I mean, it happens. Sometimes there's been movies, and I learned this years ago.
Yeah.
When there'd be a movie like, why did they do a movie without me? And then it would come out and be like, oh, everyone was 21. There's no room for me. That's why I'm not in the movie. I was like, you got all mad over what, dude? Like, chill. Like when you find out, like, just chill, you know. So, yeah, that's how that works, you know.
You know, actions. You know, I say this: you show people through success, and you keep grinding, you keep pushing, you keep working hard, and it's the truth, man. I believe in one thing. Well, more than one thing, but this one thing I'm about to tell you right now, you work things into existence, and it may sound crazy, but like I
100%
always
right.
believe, work your ass off, and just things just start happening. Universe,
They do.
things happen, and
Yeah, you're that's good wording, dude. That happens, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, if anyone's sitting around ripping other people down, I'm telling you,
got no life, they got nothing
they've
better.
got no shot. How do you have energy to do that?
It speaks more about them than it does about you.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. There's just some people just maybe they're just so happy to get some sort of attention, but
Yeah.
you know, I have ideas for other films. I certainly have an idea for a third Dark Military. Yeah, if I could get the second and third right out, you better believe I would. But I would definitely slam the brakes after the third movie. I just like so I'm not like forcing.
Not gonna be like one of those
But
horror franchise, like the big horror franchise. I mean, we have like how many sequels to Friday the 13th, and
there, look, I could have.
yeah. But there's so much you could do with this concept. That's what I'm saying.
Well, the thing, what we just did, we all collectively did with Rogue is a side story. I have like 5 other side stories. Where you know where this could go. Like I kept saying, why is this is really called like Rogue Mission 1.5 for a reason? Kind of trying to tell everyone like, yeah, I actually did a part and a half that takes place between the sequel, trying something new. Why can't other filmmakers take their property and just make a few short like series films? You know, like why can't you? Why do you always have to have a feature or nothing?
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I agree with that, man.
I could literally make a solo movie on Barabbas. I could literally make, if I wanted, a solo movie on what Carter did from his time going into the Dark Middle to not showing up.
That's what I wanted to know.
I mean, we could do that. I mean, it's endless. I could do a Jezebel or an Eve movie of just them without me in it. Like there's so many things you could do with backstories. So if they could do it for Star Wars, and I realize Star Wars is like the biggest property in the world, no matter how bad those movies have been as of late, but I'm just saying, why can't we? Why can't we as collectively as a film community?
Carter, what did you do? I want to know.
Me?
Yeah, what did you do?
Oh man.
You can't talk about it.
You know, no, I honestly, I just assumed that I was a temporary guy who was hired for a job, and then I got cold feet. I didn't really put a backstory, and I know I should kick myself for being an actor because you always want to have a backstory. You always want to have a purpose for what you're doing. When I was playing as Carter, my purpose was to just stay alive, and you put yourself into survival because anyone who has ever suffered, like like a paranoia or feeling all the walls are closing in, but then you have this like shot of hope and you don't want to lose it. That was my motivation. And I never really thought about like what Carter's backstory is. Lauren hasn't written it yet. So, but we'll get there when we do.
Well, right in my backyard at the next movie screening.
Dude, I'm excited to know. I got to know. And speaking of your movie screen, the backyard, Lauren, I have to make it out there one time.
I've invited you.
I know you
times.
did. I mean, dude, listen, I swear to God, man, you know, it's like the universe they're trying to block us, man. Like from what happened the day we were filming, and I just somehow managed to make it. And then even like trying to get the pot, I'm like, you know what? It's gonna happen. Whether you know what I'm saying anybody wants to prevent it or not. I'm gonna make it out there. God damn it, I'm gonna make it out to the screen, one of your screens out there in the backyard.
Yeah, brother. I'm actually. I think I kept saying I'm getting ready to rip the screen down for the year, but it's like been so warm all week. I'm wondering, am I should I be out there? You
gotta have a Christmas one up there, man.
No, and I look, it'll be 20 degrees and windy, and be like, good God, no.
I'm out there violent night. You ever see that's another That's on my Christmas watch. I know, completely off topic here, but
Yeah.
What
Violent.
was that? Violent Night? That movie's pretty dope.
Yeah, I love that. I love that movie, man. It's a
I haven't seen. I'm behind on some things. But yeah, that I will check that. I think it's free on Prime.
Yeah.
I believe it is right
definitely
now.
on my Christmas Eve watch list, along with Die Hard. But I mean, who doesn't have that on there? But guys, listen, I want you, Bryan, actually, right now, I want you to take the floor and I want you to plug some stuff that you have going on in the future or upcoming projects or whatnot. Now that the gates are open again, finally.
Yeah, yeah, Strikes. It's been a long year. My God. But you can check me out in, of course, the Dark Military Rogue, where you see me get fucking mutilated, and it's a lot of fun. It's for free. It's on YouTube. Go check it out right now, and then check out the behind the scenes of the Dark Military Rogue. And then yeah, and then I have some other stuff that are going on, but I really want you to watch the Dark Military Rogue because I want everyone to know that there's going to be a number two coming. So if we can hype that up, that'd be fucking awesome. So check it out. Free on YouTube.
Awesome. Oh yeah, I can't. You know what? I'm thinking about right after this conversation. I'm gonna go watch it again.
You
Uh,
should.
yeah, no, seriously, man. And Loren, I want you to talk about. I mean, we touched on the future, possible future, Dark Military, 2 and 3. Potentially, there might be some other things. It sound like I was reading in between the lines. There might be some other people interested in something with this. I mean, is there anything you can talk about?
If I was to drop names, I look at it as it's nothing's official, so I could be jinxing it. And two, like if I was to drop the names, like everyone would be, they'd be losing it. But you two will be one of the first ones to know if these things go down. But as far as where you could see some of my work, you could easily see the Dark Military free on Tubi, Sumo, and Movieplex, and the Dark Military Rogue. You can watch for free on YouTube. Just put in the Dark Military Rogue. It's 23 minutes, shot in 6K. It's really a lot of effort put into both of these films. So, folks, please give them a shot. Merch is always available. You know, we're always making things. Oh, or the t-shirts, the stickers. There's a lot, but there's a lot of heart for what I do. It's literally in my mind 24 hours a day filming. We put a lot of work in. My channel on YouTube is Average Superstar TV, where you can watch Rogue, but you could also watch nearly 500 videos between my film festivals and behind the scenes, this and that. The making of the Dark Military Rogue, the making of the first Dark Military films, and there's a lot on there. There's when the Fuse Network was on our movie set for the first Dark Military, you could watch that there. The trailers, you could see all the Pennsylvania hardcore interviews on there. That was my first movie that I released in 2014. That is free on Tubi, so it's put in Pennsylvania hardcore. But things are, it's well appreciated, folks. So I know we always go to our TV and say, what should I watch? Give it a shot. Give it a shot, please. That's all I ask.
Loren, I got to tell you, man, from the day I met you, it was at a convention. It was
New
NJ.
Jersey HorrorCon.
Yeah, NJCon. And you are a hustler, man, and in the best sense. You know what I'm saying? You're out there, you're grinding, you're promoting, and I tell everybody, if you can't promote yourself, who the hell else is going to promote you? You have to promote constantly.
Yep.
And again, you're all heart, dude. Like you told me that, but you are, man. You're out there, you're passionate. So I appreciate what you do and the content that you provide in the community, and the fact that you're in it for the right reasons, And again, you're passionate, man. So
Thank you.
anything that you have going on, I'll be happy to promote as much as I can. Again, we don't have a huge following here at Horror 365. So Facebook is probably our biggest reach with about 34K, but even at that, man, with Meta, yeah, I'm talking to you, Meta, damn it. You keep with the shadow banning me over here. Yeah, but it is what it is. We try to get out there, man, but teamwork makes the dream work, and that's what I've always said, and I want to be aligned with good people. There's a lot of hate in this community and other communities too, and I guess it's jealousy, envy. People just don't like you for whatever reason it is, man. But you can't. You gotta embrace that. You gotta say, hey, they're watching. They're still watching. I'll take.
You know what I always say about the haters? If they ain't watching you, you might not be doing something right, because the haters are hits too and attention. So
I love them.
We all prefer better publicity than bad, but they're helping either way. So feel free to jump in the comments section on Dark Military Rogue and let me know really how you feel.
Yeah, you heard that, South Jersey, Jason. I know you're watching this because you just love.
Hey, they hate me so much that I now get make a living being on TV. So it all works
you
out.
Yourself to success. I mean, they hated you to success. There it is, man.
You know what? Haters gonna hate.
That's it. But you know what?
Bring the
rating. Bryan's gonna keep delivering for them. And Loren's going to keep delivering for them. And Jimmy J's going to keep it in the Horror 365 team. Listen, man, we're doing something here that is positive, and we're creating content. Most of it's original, okay? And we're passionate, dude. We love this. This is what we do. So, I appreciate it, Loren.
Yeah, appreciate you being there and being a part of it. I appreciate this podcast and Bryan for coming in. I can't recommend a guy at last minute. He's coming in.
Man, last minute Bryan. I'll tell you for the
last minute Bryan
for the podcast. But you know what? This guy comes fresh out of the gate, and this guy hits home runs.
Let me tell you something. I always live by Tim Curry's words. They asked him how to get so successful in acting before he had a stroke, and he says, "Keep showing up."
Yep,
he's on the money, man. And I'm glad everybody here showed up today, and we delivered this, and I'm going to get this out there upcoming week. Guys, Loren, I know Average Superstar TV. If you haven't seen this already, Horrorheads, what are you waiting for? Check them out. It's free. FREE.
The F word is always good. Free.
Yes, that F word is good. And the other F word I'm going to use right now, because I had to say one more thing to my main man, Gabe. Fuck you, Gabe. I love you, man.
You're not going to say fire. Reflect on your death scene.
Good old Gabe.
Yeah.
And we could also say, for anyone who might not like Jimmy J, you should watch Rogue. You should watch Rogue. You might like what happens.
Yeah, they're gonna love that, man. They're gonna comment all the haters out there, but. You know what? It is what it is. I embrace it. I appreciate you guys. Check it out. Dark Military Rogue. It's free. Average Superstar TV. Dark Military. Go watch the original one, okay? And Loren had told you where to find it. Tubi, Movieplex, and something else. Zumo.
Sumo. XUMO. Sumo. Yeah, I just figured Sumo. Right? Never claimed to be smart.
Disclaimer here, Jimmy J. No. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Horrorheads, thank you for tuning in. And thank you for celebrating horror not only last month in October, but 365. We're going to see you next week. But wait a minute. I got to make sure we're able to sign out right now, guys. Hold on one second. I got to talk to the General. Can we close the show? Okay, he gave us the green light. We're closing, guys. We'll see you next week.
Some PTSD.
All right, be good.